Okay, as you can see, I'm joined by my operator now, Ron. How you doing, Ron? Good to see you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks for showing up. Okay, so Ron, I've looked at your paperwork. You have received your general training, and just so you understand why you're here, we are required to do this familiarization training now with you because you see you're going to operate a machine that you haven't operated before, and it's it's reasonably different than the one you used before. It's electric. We'll run through all the different things, but for one, it's electric powered and it's a slab type. I think yours was, well, actually I know yours was an engine powered rough terrain straight boom.
Yes.
Unit, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so yeah, the ANSI standards require us to do this. The actual references you can see here in your handout too, at ANI 2.6 for boom lifts. I'm sorry, that's for scissors. Wrong reference. ANI 2.5, right? And really, actually, you know what? ANI 2.6, exact same requirement, same wording, same everything. Yep. So what we'll do then is we'll walk through some of the things that are different on this. Okay. Starting off with, well, I guess we'll just, do a walk around of it, and as we come across things that are different from your original unit, we'll stop and talk about those. And then what I'm going to do is get you to actually demonstrate the use of them afterwards, just so I'm, comfortable with your understanding of, how they work, okay?
Fantastic.
All right, let's get to it. Okay, Ron, I see by the record here your previous training, your general training, was on a straight mast, rough terrain aerial boom lift, right?
Yes. Okay,
cool. And now, for the purpose of this, now on the signing roster, have I got your name right here?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so let me just put my name on there. And that's your company, that's correct spelling there?
Yes.
As far as you know. Okay, and the address, equipment type address, of course, self-propelled elevating work platform. Okay, good. Date and time. It's June 3rd, it is, okay. All right, good. So let me just get this down in my my log, and we'll do a walk around after that, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, man. Okay, let's go under the cover here. Obviously pretty different. What's missing here than from your original one?
An engine.
No engine, right. So we've got, it's battery powered, right? So here's the electric motor that's connected to your battery, right? And that turns a hydraulic pump here.
Okay.
That provides power for all your hydraulic functions and that type of thing. Now here's a hydraulic filter, right? An oil filter. Actually it says, well, you can see filter assembly, it has a name, part number, but I mean, if you saw fluid gushing out of that, or these hoses or anything like that were ruined. Notice here as well, you've got basically all the manufacturer's specs on this manufacturer's decal here, right? How high it can go, what it weighs, all the specs that you need to know, just like on the other machine. All right, so now since your unit is battery powered, unlike the one you got your general training on, let's have a look at how you access the batteries and have a look at them. So here's the battery box. There's one on each side. Okay, you can see a few decals on here. Now, just so you can see better, I'll just unhook this. You can see a decal here telling you how to pull this connector apart. So we'll pull that out of there. Then there's a little latch right back in here. So it says open. Right. So you just reach in there, open. Here's a handle you can pull, and it swings right out. Just like that. So right off the bat, you can see a few decals here, just warning you of some hazards around the battery. It is, a sulfuric acid solution inside the battery. Okay, so we got to be careful. You had a battery on your other one, but it's just to start the engine. It was a little 12 volt. These are much bigger, and like I say, there's a kind of a drawing of them right there, how they're connected. Okay. Right. How to use the battery charger, which is right around the corner here in a second. And again, just reading the manual and knowing what you're doing. So to actually get a look at the manual itself, you have to take this top off here, and we'll just do that. Whoops, I took those right out. Okay. There you go. There's your batteries. All right. So right off the bat, now, I checked these this morning in the pre-use before you got here, but you can see that they're secure. The terminals are clean and tight. There's not any, you don't get the idea that these are leaking or anything like that, right? All the caps are in place. Normally with the right PPE, i.e. gloves and eyewear, you can take these caps off and check the cells. Maybe we'll do that a little later. But you know, generally speaking, that's all you're looking at. As soon as you get in and start it up, you can see the charge level that you're at. I just get in the habit of putting them on charge every day when I leave them, you know, and then generally if you keep these things clean and dry, they should be okay. But I'm pretty sure you covered batteries in the classroom of your general training, but probably, you know, like I say, you weren't using them like this on your other units. So just so you know, they are there, and that's how you get at them if you ever need to check them, okay? Okay, Ron, so here's the battery charger now. It's on board. You don't have to find a charger anymore. It's traveling around with you. This plug, you'd have to run an extension cord, you know, from an outlet in the wall, right? And just plug it in here. And you can see, again, you got a danger decal here, right? You got electrocution, fire hazard, you know, and just watch out for using, you know, using a lousy plug. Obviously, you do that anytime. Now, the only thing to be aware of is that, you know, when batteries charge, right, they give off hydrogen, right, which is a flammable gas. If this were parked out here, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you had this indoors and it was charging up overnight, I would be concerned if it was around any kind of, you know, ignition sources, right? It's probably, if it's in a large enough area, it's nothing to worry about. But, you know, you get too much hydrogen building up, mixing up with air, finds a spark or heat, away it goes. But just so you know, there is your charging unit. As soon as you plug it in, you'll see this gauge here pop up, and that'll tell you that it's actually charging. Okay, under this panel, obviously we have our control panel there, but that's, you can see through that window. But we have a valve block assembly here, and of course, our hydraulic fluid tank. Okay, so since this tank is virtually, it's somewhat see-through. You notice how you can see the oil level through there? Like on the other one you had, it was a steel tank, but it had a sight glass, right? And that's how you tell the level. This one's just, you know, it's a translucent tank that you can see through, so you can see that it's full, right? Got lots of fluid. Obviously, you'd check that with, you know, everything down, right? If you had everything up in the air, a lot of that fluid would be in the system, and you might think it's low when it's not. Okay, so everything's down. And yeah, the valve block assembly, not much you can do here, Ron. Just, you know, you're just looking again for leaks. You know, with hydraulic system, leaks are your enemy, and that's what you look for. And any, you know, anything obvious, you know, broken wires, things hanging off, that kind of thing, right? So, more or less the same as what you were used to before. All right, Ron, at the lower controls here, at the base controls, remember what you're probably not familiar with is that jib function, right? Yes. Right, so here it is, right? You can see it right there. You see how the jib section's lit up? Now on this one, to activate the controls, you have to hold, see that little lightning bolt there? Okay, so you have to hold that on, right? And then, did you hear that click there? That means, okay, it's alive. And now when you activate the control, it'll actually work, right? Now here's your auxiliary. That's the same on all of them. It looks like a battery with a lightning bolt on it. Yep. That's, you know, you always want to check your auxiliary power, as you know, right? When you use any machine. Other than that, there's, you know, you're familiar with all these controls and the decals around it. You know, nothing here that's you haven't seen on other machines. There's your other battery box, right? Here's your annual inspection sticker, right? That's always good to see, right? We know it's up to date, and it is, as you can see. So why don't you go ahead and try to, like, let's just activate that jib, right? Which is the one thing you didn't have on the last one. Now you can see how it moves out. Right, and now you're getting a little extra height. If you're at max, as far as you go, you get a little bit higher. Okay, why don't you just for the heck of it, show me the auxiliary power controls, just so you know how to use them. It is a safety kind of emergency system, so you got to hold that on, right, as usual, and then activate one of the controls. And now it's just running off the auxiliary battery power, right? All right, and that's plenty. I usually just check that for a few feet because I don't want to kill the battery. Just want to make sure the system works is all. Okay, cool. Okay, so now that we're in the platform, we've got our fall protection harness hooked up. We're good. All right, remember there's your manual, right? Yes. Your weather resistant, not weatherproof, weather resistant. Yeah. Okay, and that has your the specific manual for this machine and the ANSI manual responsibilities in it. Right, should always be there. You want to check that out always before you start operating. Okay. So the things on this control panel, a lot of the things are you know, very kind of, what do you call it, intuitive. You can just tell what they're for by looking at them, as you know from your previous experience. I know you had a similar kind of control panel layout, but a couple of things on this one that you may not have seen before. For example, this one right here. You see how you've got here, that's your turret rotate, right? And then you got a thumb toggle here for the boom extending and out. On the one you were trained on, you actually move the control panel. Now you move this one too, but you see when you go up and back and forth on this, it lifts and lowers the main boom section. See how that boom part is shadowed or colored, right? So that's the boom it's going to. But the thumb here, right, is an extend retract. On the other one you had, it was a separate lever altogether. Right? Wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a little different, right? And then side to side is still, you know, to rotate the turret. You're used to that. Now on this particular one, there's a couple of things. Now you see here, you've got the platform rotate, right? So that'll cause it down at that joint to rotate around that point, right? Okay. And that your other one had. But you see this one, this particular one also has a rotate that rotates from there. So you can rotate the whole jib assembly. So not only just the platform, but that whole, you know, jib section. Now here's another thing that you didn't have on your engine powered, and that's this right here. This is a variable speed control dial here. You can see how, you know, turtle, slow, rabbit, fast, right? Yeah. So when you, depending on where you have this, that will regulate the speed at which things activate when you activate them, right? So if you have it on max, right at the full rabbit, when you drive and steer and move the boom, that kind of thing, it's going to go at its full speed. But let's say when you're way out there, like you're out at your maximum height or extension, you may want to dial that way back so it's really slow. So let's say when you turret over here, it doesn't, you know, whip you and you know, cause this kind of motion, because you can feel this thing, you know, wants to move, right? Yeah. So you want to get it down to low speed. And even when you're driving, I mean, if you weren't used to driving one of these around, I always recommend operators just leave it, say, halfway. So even if you have it pushed at maximum, it's not going to really go that fast. You always kind of maintain control that way. Now, this particular thing here, see this drive enable operation, right? Well, if you get yourself, you know, rotated around, I know you went through this in general training just very quickly though, you could be on the other side of this machine looking back onto it, right? So now when you activate this, you remember the whole business with your color-coded arrows as to what direction you're going to go? Yes. See, right now we're looking at a yellow arrow pointing right at us. Yeah. Right, and you can see here, there's yellow and blue. So you know that if you, okay, that yellow arrow, if I go towards the yellow here, in other words, if I pull back, it's going to go that way, right? And then of course push forward, it'll go that way. And that would be, you know, the opposite if you're at the other end, right? Is there anything else here you don't recognize? All these power icons?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty standard. I mean, again, just because it's an electric, you're going to see this, you know, certain things on here that, well, you wouldn't. And this thing has this pivoting point at the platform and at the jib. Pardon me. This is kind of new to me too. Actually, I don't think I've been on many that the extend retract is on a thumb switch here. Okay. Okay, so the decals, you good with that? These are all pretty stock. Now, actually, here's one that's probably different. Now, you can see here, this is telling you, you know, that with your platform uphill, like basically your procedures when you're on a grade. Right? You should never elevate on a grade. All right, you can travel across grades, up and down them, and it gives you this maximum grade ability when you're going straight up, like forward with the counterweight uphill. You see there, 30 to 30% grade, and then with the counterweight downhill, 20%. Right, and then sideways on the grade. Now again, you're not raising the platform; you're just traveling across a grade, and that's the maximum it can. Did the other one have that?
No, actually.
Yeah, see, that's not something you'll see on every one of them, right? So that's good to know, right? And here, can you tell just by looking at that what that decal means?
Definitely.
What's that telling you?
Tip over hazard.
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's always something you got to be aware of. And this big danger one, this is almost stock on all machines, and you've probably seen that before, you know. Watch out for power lines, which we don't have any of. Thankfully, during our site inspection, we discovered that. And no elevating off of grades, and watch the overhead clearance and all that type of thing. So, okay, Ron, you see that strap there? Yeah. Okay, that's supposed to be there. Don't pull that off. Okay. That's a ground strap. You're going to see that on all electric powered machines like this one, because the batteries are connected to the frame. They're grounded to the frame. And then the frame itself is, well, grounded to the ground, okay, to the earth. Okay. And that prevents any static electric charge from building up and either giving you a zap when you get too close to it, or worse yet, well, actually not worse, but let's say if you were working in a warehouse with this thing and you got near metal racking, right, you could get a big electric arc, you know, that will jump. So you don't want that happening. So as long as that strap's in place, you'll be okay there. Okay, well, let's just fire it up here. We've got it on platform controls at the base. Everything's on. So now this is a little different too. This is a brand new machine. So everything's, you know, right up to date. See how this thing is kind of going through a little check of itself, and it'll tell you when it's ready. You can see here, it tells you the battery charge level. It's all on a LCD kind of, well, I don't know if LCD is the right term, but you know, electronic kind of dashboard. See, system ready, 100% battery. Right? Perfect. Okay, so now a couple of the controls. Remember, now we have to be standing on the function table to make things work. So what I'm going to do is just demonstrate this extend retract. So we'll just raise the boom up a bit above. We're good. Okay, we'll go up. Okay, that's high enough. Now what we'll do is extend out. See, remember on yours it was a separate lever, right? A little different, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's try your jib pivot here. That's that one. That one's something you didn't have on the last one. That's side to side. Okay, there you go. So that's, you know, it's pretty simple. Just another kind of, you know, dimension to what you were used to before. Is there anything else now? Now, just before we leave this, anything else you're not familiar with? Drive and steer. Steering's on the thumb toggle. Good. Yeah. Okay, Ron, well, basically that's the differences between this machine and the one you were originally trained on. So how do you feel about things? You feel reasonably confident you can operate this thing?
Yes, I sure do.
Okay, I'm going to get you just to do a few things for me, just to get it on record that you can demonstrate the safe use of the thing. So first of all, can you locate the weather-resistant compartment where the manuals are?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay. Here? All right, so let's pull them out of there. Because you want to make sure that they are actually the make and model specific, right? And can you see that ANSI manual responsibilities in there?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay, there it is, yeah?
Yeah.
And it is the A92.5 for booms. And the 2006 version, good stuff. And do we have the make and model specific? Here, want me to hang on to something there?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, that's good, so we got that. All right, well, while you're in the platform then, let's get you to run through the controls, particularly the ones that you're not familiar with. So there you go, let's get that harness on there. Lanyard hooked up. Okay, you got it on ground controls. Pull your stop. And let's move a few things. Can you show me the main boom up and down? There you go. Okay, just stop right there. Okay, now let's do the secondary boom, the smaller boom section here, up and down. Good. Okay, let's extend and retract or put your jib up and down now. Don't have to go all the way. Okay. There you go. Okay, and now let's move on to the extend retract, which is in a different place than your original one. Okay, any of the controls you haven't used? Nope. All right, okay, let's hit the stop there. Let's climb out of there. Okay, Ron, one last thing before we go. I'm pretty confident that you know what you're doing on this machine. Can you show me what you do at the end of the day if you're going to, you know, charge this thing up? What do you do? Well,
extension cord.
Good stuff.
Yep. Go here. Make sure nothing is frayed.
Good. It's a good plug's in good shape. Yeah.
Go ahead, and now I watch for
needle come up, shows that it's charging. Good.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now that the batteries are charging, what kind of gas is coming out of those batteries? You remember?
Hydrogen.
Right, right. So we're outdoors here, you know, we're well ventilated. So excellent, good job. Okay, what I'll have you do is, you feel good about everything?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get a sign right here where it says signature of the operator. That's you. Why don't you just sign that? And I'll fill out your fare card and give that to you. I just got a few more guys to get through here. So well done. Way to go, bud.
Thank you.
You're ready to go.